welcome back to my channel, Tomcat Stitchery. I'm a Whitney and happy Tuesday, everyone. All right, it has been a big couple of weeks over here at Tomcat Stitchery Studio. I'm in my new filming studio. I'm slowly putting things up. I do think I need acoustic tiles. Let me know if you still think it sounds echoey in here. I kind of thought I've got a quilt that a student made for me that is beautiful. And I kind of thought about hanging it on the wall because it's in Tomcat Stitchery colors, to hang it on the wall. So it's the wall kind of behind you over here. But you'd be able to see it a little bit when I'm in the chair, filming from my chair, doing those kind of sit-down videos. So yeah, let me know what you think. I also thought about putting acoustic tiles on the wall in areas where it's not, like maybe this far wall over here, on areas where it's not going to be visible for the different filming vignettes I'm going to be doing. So we've got some options. But if it is still sounding echoey in here, because I do have furniture in now, let me know. This is all part of the process of figuring this out. Okay, but today I've got a very exciting pattern release for you guys. This one has been being teased on their social media, on Love Notion's social media accounts now for a little bit, but I have got the Coda Quilted jacket to share with you guys today, and this is such a sweet little pattern and so perfect for transitional weather. So whether you're getting ready to go into spring or, I say that wistfully, it takes forever. Our springs are really just late winters. We don't really... For most part, from where I live. It doesn't get like warm usually until, I mean, we can still be chilly here in May. So anyway, we'll get there. But for those odd days that are a little bit warmer, a little bit nicer, this is such a great transitional piece. So yes, if you're going into spring or if you're going into fall, whichever hemisphere you happen to live in, this is such a great little transitional piece. Okay, so let's talk about the pattern for a little bit. So the pattern is, it's a quilted jacket. It comes either, it's just a bound jacket, you can line it, you can use, and not quilt it, you can quilt your own fabric, you can use pre-quilted fabric, you can use quilts. I saw some people that were finding quilts at thrift stores that were maybe really worn in parts and using the good parts still to make their own quilted jackets. It's a great reuse of something that maybe is no longer usable in its current form. I hate to cut into like beautiful handmade quilts if they're still good, but if you've got one that's really, really worn and you see a spot where it's stained really badly or something and it's not going to be fixable, a great use of pre-loved quilts as well. It comes with just a bound neckline, and I'm going to show you up close a little bit how all of it's modified, just a little bit to make something new. You can be made with a collar, which is what I chose to do, or with a hood. So it's a very versatile little pattern. It has pockets that are featured that also come with a flap. I opted not to put the flap on mine, and I'll talk about that here in just a second, why I decided to do that. And all your edges are bound. So it's a very fun way to just learn some new skills and to practice some different skills. I'm not great with binding. I just don't do it a ton. So this was actually, I went really slow. It was actually really fun. It was a challenge. It was something I don't do very often, and so it was a nice fun challenge. If you're a quilter, you do binding all the time. So this will be a simple project for you. But I made the size medium with the full bust. I left the body as is, and I shortened the sleeves by 1 inch, but I'm also wearing the sleeves, there's this thread, wearing the sleeves cuffed. I'm going to put this on a hanger here in just a second so I can show you up close some of the details, because I just love these two fabrics together. So size medium, the only thing I did was shorten the sleeves by 1 inch. That's the only alteration I made. I used the full bust front for my version. That's standard what I make in Love Notions, and I didn't have to do anything else with it. I made buttonholes with my new machine, and that worked really, really well. I will show you guys how I did that. I just wanted to make buttonholes off camera first before I made them on camera. But that all worked really, really well. Used some vintage buttons that I had in my stash. I had 6 of them, so that's what I put on the front. Can't remember how many the pattern called for. And then obviously I put the jacket or the collar on my version and then just left off the flaps, which is an option. And I actually bound the pocket edges. Again, I'll show you this up close here in just a second. Okay, so for my fabric, I want to talk about this. So back in the fall, when I did my 2 in-person shirt making classes, I worked with our, they're somewhat new, they've only been around a couple of years, quilting shop that's here in my hometown of Carmel, Indiana, True Cotton, and they were wonderful to work with, and they got me the supplies for that class, my fabric and all that kind of stuff, so wonderful to work with. So anyway, so in working with them, and we did a little field trip over to their shop, they carried the really high-end quilting cottons, and they also had some batiks, and just, you know, those sort of things. So a lot of like art gallery and the higher end stuff that you can also use for garment sewing. Not all quilting cotton would I recommend for garment, but there is crossover now where there didn't used to be. So anyway, we did a little field trip over there too with my classes and did a little fabric shopping and that sort of thing. But they very kindly bought a few garment-specific fabrics for me to kind of showcase with those classes. So, of course, I handpicked a few. I think maybe 10 different fabrics, a few different cotton lawns, and some the mammoth plaid. I'm trying to remember what else. And then I did a couple of just like other heavy-duty flannels for, I was buying things that could be used for shirts and or shackets because that was the class I was teaching. So anyway, she pulled in some things. I tried to pull stuff from different color palettes, and I absolutely, when I saw this in person, grabbed some of this. So this is the Robert Kaufman London is Calling cotton lawn in this beautiful, well here, let me put it on a hanger and I will come up close to show you. Okay, so like I said, I picked out a few different of the Robert Kaufman London is Calling cotton lawns, which are lovely. They're a lovely fabric. Look at this print though. It is literally, it's my color palette. Like there is all of my colors in here. And when I saw it with, and I didn't pick these out to go together, but when I saw them together, I bought both and thought, oh my gosh, they've got to use them in some way together. This pattern wasn't even a thought yet. But this is the Robert Kaufman Mammoth Plaid that is on the outside, and you can see just the colors are the same. So this has like a little bit, there's a little pink in there, but it's got the turquoise, and then there's that kind of tangerine, orange sherbet, yellow, orange color that I love so much. And then obviously my warm red is the base, and the same with the inside. So I know that she still has some of this left because I was just in there the other day. And again, she's got other colors of both the mammoth flannel as well as the cotton lawn. So I'll leave that all linked down below. But what I decided to do was to pre-quilt my fabric. So I quilted, folks. And I've got my new fancy machine, so I thought, oh, it's perfect. And mine is the 770 QE, which is the quilter's edition. So I thought, well, what better time to play around with that than now. So I took my cotton lawn, put it down, and then I put a layer of 100% cotton batting, a real thin one, down, and then I put my mammoth plaid, and then I just quilted straight lines. I don't even know if you're gonna be able to see. Quilted straight lines. You can actually probably see it better on the cotton lawn side, but I just followed my plaid and just did straight lines. So I did that on the yardage. So I quilted, this is narrower fabric. It is 44 or 45 wide. So I quilted it all together, then I washed it. So I quilted it all together, serged it, and then washed it so that everything could shrink up together, just like you would do if you were making a quilt. And I asked them at True Cotton, you know, should I do that? And they were like, yeah, that's what I would do if I were doing that. We shared tips and tricks on garment sewing versus quilting together. And then I cut out my pieces. So then I was able to I cut my pockets out on the bias just because I didn't want to have to match those. And then I did my little binding. Isn't that pretty? In the floral. Which I just kind of added that, but then I didn't have to match my pockets. I had a brief moment of panic that wasn't matching, that my plaids hadn't matched. That actually was a happy accident. I was so concerned with making sure, because obviously once you quilt stuff together and wash it, it's shrunk up a little bit, especially with the cotton batting and stuff on the inside. So I was a little nervous about fitting all my pieces on, and I made it, it was fine, but I did panic a little bit and wasn't paying as much attention to matching my plaids, but everything worked out great. So I obviously used the floral for all of my bias binding that went all the way around. You make up or use 1/2 inch double fold bias tape. So that means it's a 2-inch bias strip that then is 1/2 inch, you know, full inch, 1/2 inch, and then when it gets folded in half again, it's 1/2 inch times 4, if that makes sense. But the way this jacket is constructed is you make the binding all the way around, and then I think it's the same with the hood, and then the collar gets bound and then basically gets top stitched in place, which is a really cool way to finish off the inside. And then it kind of works as a kind of a collar stand-ish, like it helps support the collar and make it stand up a little bit, even though it's just a kind of a camp collar that's on there. Anyway, so you could wear it popped if you want. It's just kind of a cool little addition. I don't know. It was different and I liked it. So very, very easy. I've got my little tag that's there on the inside, and I like to wear my sleeves cuffed because I think it's really fun to be able to see more of that floral. And I just love the way that these go together so much that I wanted to put those together. So there is my Coda. We can put it back on Lena here. So see, you can even have your collar kind of stand up in the back a little bit if you wanted to, and that bias that you already have around the back neckline just kind of helps it stand up. And then you've got a really pretty pop of like this extra little bit of floral that's there in the back, which I think is really cute. So basically, you're looking at my spring color palette. Like, I don't even know what, I will buy the Everyday Style spring capsule. It's just kind of my thing now. But I change the colors usually that she puts out because I can make my own, so I'm not relying on what I can find in the stores. And this is my spring color palette. So I bought some knits when Minerva had their sale, their craft club sale. I bought a few different solids for both in their cotton spandex jersey for both my daughter, a couple for my daughter, and then a couple for myself. But it's basically this kind of sherbet, orange sherbet, macaroni and cheese color, the teal, and then I did buy some bright spring green that's in the floral of this print. It's not in the plaid, but it is in the floral. I just love it so much. So this is gonna be like what I'm gonna be wearing all spring long, like as my topper. I don't have white jeans right now. I got rid of my white jeans. I just didn't like them, to be honest, on me. I should have sent them back. I mean, I think I had them for 2 seasons, and I should have sent them back after the first season, but I was just kind of making it work, and I just felt like I looked a little dumpy in them, which is not a good look. So I am going to actively shop for white jeans or make myself a pair of white jeans this summer. I honestly may make myself some white jeans because there were a couple of those new to me pattern companies that I had picked pants, and there were a couple of wide leg jeans that I or straight leg jeans that I really wanted to try. So I may end up doing that for my white jeans this year. We'll see what I have time for. But I just can't wait to wear this with like a little tank underneath. And I do have a tank in this color. It's the same fabric that I made my title dress that got ruined out of. I had enough to make a little tank top, and so I'm wearing that underneath it in the pictures that you saw. But yeah, I have a whole idea for some other little t-shirts and tanks to wear underneath this with jeans, white jeans, shorts, overalls. I mean, they're just the sky's the limit. I'm going to be wearing this all summer long, or all spring long, and probably into the summer too, because usually my spring and summer color palettes are not too different. So be great for that transitional going in from air conditioning and all that kind of stuff. So I'm about ready to wear the heck out of this. Okay, I will leave all the fabrics linked down below in the description box if you're interested in taking a look, as well as the pattern. The pattern is on sale for the next week, but you can use my code TOM10 to get an additional 10% off that sale price. Well, 10% off all times, but you can get 10% off the sale price right now, so it'll be even better while it is currently on its release sale. So there you have it, guys. The newest Love Notions pattern. It is a welcome addition to the catalog, in my opinion, and I just love my version. And it was really quick for a jacket. Really quick to put together. All right, guys, that's all I have for today. If you have any questions, leave them down below, and I'll be sure to answer those. I will see you back on Friday. I think I've got a Sew the Look, and it's a Sew the Look for Jenny on Friday. And then Sunday, we start part 1. Yes, in fact, we start part 1 of the Style Arc Parker Ponte Pant Sew Along. So I will see you then. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already so you don't miss anything. All right, guys, have a good week, and I'll see you on Friday. Bye.